Welcome back to another episode of Dishonored 2. We are just outside I think it's the Abbey of the Overseers here in Karnaka, where we will try and find this dead body of Mindy Blanchard's and bring it to her wherever it was she wanted us to bring it to. But before we do this, before we do any of this, I would like to go into our menus and check out powers, because I thought we would have to find like this ability, Far Reach. We got that for free after we had visited the Void and talked to the Overseer, not Overseer, the Outsider. So I initially thought that all these powers would be given to us, like the initial power would be given to us and then we could update, but actually no, the initial power costs us runes, and we have 6 runes here, so these powers and enchantments, we can buy all this whatever we want to. So I want to have a look at the powers to begin with. So this one, Domino, is it links human targets so they die or fall unconscious together. First power costs 4. Domino links 2 human targets while the power is active. Any action taken affects all linked targets. For instance, quickly incapacitate multiple enemies using a single sleep dart, reducing the risk of alarm, or kill multiple linked enemies simultaneously if outnumbered in a fight. That's very handy. That's very, very useful. Combine Domino with other powers to create surprising and interesting effects. For instance, summon a doppelganger and link it to an enemy. Any damage you deal on your doppelganger will be shared by the linked enemy. Okay, so there are doppelgangers as well. Doppelganger, yeah, that's this one. Okay, so summon a shade of yourself that attracts enemies. So your doppelganger creates a diversion and flees from enemies, drawing attention away from you. Enemies that destroy your doppelganger will believe they have eliminated any threat in the area and will transition to a less alert state. Your doppelganger will also trigger security systems and attract hostile animals just as you would. That's cool. Baffling Shade. Your doppelganger will confuse enemies as it fades away. When your doppelganger is destroyed or disappears, it leaves behind a cloud that incapacitates enemies for a few seconds. So the original doppelganger power costs 4 runes. We have 6, and then you can buy this for an additional rune. So we could actually do that if we want to. Deadly Shade. Summon a doppelganger that can fight enemies and assassinate when undetected. Summon an ally by holding and releasing L2. Your doppelganger can engage in combat with enemies or even assassinate them when undetected. Doppelgangers can help you eliminate enemies or distract them while you slip away. That's really strong. But we don't have enough runes to buy both the doppelganger and this upgrade to it, right? This right one then, Transposition. Swap places with your summoned doppelganger. We could do this. Doppelganger and swap places. Target your own doppelganger and press square to swap places. That makes me wonder, if we get the doppelganger, how, like, if we use it, will it pop up right next to us, or can we actually like conjure it quite like far away from us? That's a question. What's this then? Dark vision. See better in darkness. Observe living beings through walls. Upgrade on that is, in addition to, well, see objects and security systems through walls. and visualize enemy routes and their current destination. Okay? And shadow walk. Assume a stealthier form for a short time. During shadow walk, your visibility is reduced, making it harder for enemies to detect you. Don't get too close, however. A moving shadow will still arouse suspicion. In this state, you can assassinate or incapacitate one enemy before returning to physical form. That's cool. That costs 4. And this, mesmerize. Summon a void spirit to enthrall humans or hounds. Mesmerize creates a void entity that captivates 2 humans or hounds, then removes their short-term memory. Only those mesmerized can see the summoned entity. Allies of those enthralled will notice their strange behavior and suspect a hostile presence in the area. Mesmerize will always enthrall the closest living targets. Use it to avoid a group of enemies who will be unaware of what's happening around them, or use it in combat, enthralling enemies and making them vulnerable to your attacks. Cost 6. That's like all the runes that we carry right now. Alright, so most of these are really cool stuff. I think Dark Vision feels like a cheat more than anything, so I don't believe I will be spending any runes on this power in this game. But I will, however, choose one other power to get. Now these are also good. These are also tempting, like Doppelganger. I really would like to try that one. And Domino could also be very useful, just like Mesmerize. But I think I will go with Shadow Walk for now, and just the first base power, like this. And yeah, so now I will reorganize. Let's see here. I think I will put it on my right digital button for now. Wait, like this. And
sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be better to craft the music boxes at each enclave, here in the city, for instance. Instead, they're made in a few locations, kept from us, and shipped out.
Music boxes?
Far worse to have the knowledge of construction materials scattered across the aisles. The metals used to make the devices are unusually rare. The techniques, if applied by anyone but the most faithful, resolute overseers, would border on heresy.
I suppose you're correct. It grieves me to imagine what cultists might accomplish if they took the music boxes and perverted them to their own ends.
Exactly, brother. Much better to protect such a powerful tool. Assemble them in secret and dispatch them across the Empire where they're needed in the fight against the supernatural.
Let's see if we can get down here. Oh shit!
Can't be!
You think you're ready over your blasphemer?
Uh-oh.
I smell heresy on you. I'll cure the
Oh,
world
no.
from the likes of you.
Shit. Okay, that wasn't good. That wasn't what we wanted to do. We accidentally killed a bunch of guys. Can we stash them somewhere? Like, not on the balcony, preferably. In this room, then. This room doesn't look like it's used often. Or maybe. No loot. Unconscious. Okay, so we actually didn't kill this one. We got 10 coins from him. No, we shouldn't put him among the dead guys. We should put him somewhere in a chair. Or there is a chaiselong here. Let's put it in here. Pick this up. What do we have here? We have a letter. Strictures to keep you safe. Remember the 7 strictures, especially roving feet, restless hands, wanton flesh. Okay. Is this a slide machine, or it looks like a slide machine, doesn't it? I thought it might be like a moving picture machine as well, like a film projector. Ancient music. So this was what they were talking about. Excerpt from a longer work, okay? Throughout the natural world there are ripples that we can barely perceive with our senses. An ancient music permeating everything as fundamental structural rule. Throughout it, you can work wonders without violating the natural world or begging favors from the unfriendly spirits. Throughout my studies, I have found a 17-note scale derived from this phenomenon, and with the right equipment, those notes allow for astonishing effects. Not the least of these is the ability to calm the turbulence originating in the void, which we attribute to the outsider. Cool. That's very cool. So in other words, there is music. That's really, really cool. Pick that up. 7. The 7 strictures. All 7 are here? Yes, all 7 are here. What is this? Litany on the White Cliff. Excerpt from a series of overseer invocations by High Overseer Abram Templeton. And I say to you, brothers, it is here that we make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here that we unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us screaming into the night, never to return to our homes, to our families. Together we will serve as a rod to those who would stray from the herd. For the foggy grey wastes of the outsider, we will burn a bright fire with our virtuous actions so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our homes, in far places, we will strike at them swiftly before they whisper to their neighbors, filling their hearts with strangeness and doubt. What's this? 7 strictures. Inspect.
A clever way to control the common folk.
Restrict the wandering gaze that looks hither and yonder for some flashing thing that easily catches a man's fancy in one moment, but brings a calamity in the next. For the eyes are never tired of seeing, nor are they quick to spot illusion. A man whose gaze is corrupted is like a warped mirror that has trapped beauty for ugliness and ugliness for beauty. Instead, fix your eyes to what is edifying and to what is pure, and then you will be able to recognize the profane monuments of the outsider. What about this then? Lying tongue. Restrict the lying tongue that is like a spark in a man's mouth. It is such a little thing, yet from one spark an entire city may burn to the ground. The father of a lie will suffer a punishment compounded by each person relaying it. Better to live a life of silence than unleash a stream of untruth. The echoes of lies come back as the voice of the outsider. Restrict the restless hands, which quickly become the workmates of the outsider. Unfettered by honest labor, they rush to sordid gain, vain pursuits, and deeds of violence. Of what value are the hands that steal and kill and destroy? Instead, put your hands to the plow, the fork, and the spade, for even the lowliest labor that is rigorous squeezes the muscles as a sponge, rising impurities from the mind and body. Alright. Oh, crock. Restrict roving feet that love to trespass. They pay no heed to the boundary stones of other men's fields. They wander into foreign lands only to return with their souls blackened by iniquity. Where have you strayed that destruction now comes behind you? Would you walk across burning coals or broken glass? Then why do you prowl into the homes of the honest or into the dens of hidden things? For the result is the same. You will fall into the void. Instead, rest your feet on a firm foundation so that when the winds of the outsider shriek against you, you will stand firm and not be overthrown. Firm foundation so that when the winds of the outsider shriek against you, you will stand firm and not be overthrown. What's this then? Rampant hunger. Restrict the rampant hunger, or the intemperate will rise up among you like a virulent swarm, devouring everything wherever they go, even filth. For what goes into your body poisons you, and if you eat filth, then filth is what you will vomit up. Surely the glutton will sell away birthright, family, and friends for a morsel of meat. Firm foundation so that when the winds of the outsider shriek against you, you will stand firm and not be overthrown. Okay. I kind of get a pattern here. I'm starting to feel that when the winds of the outsider blows up against you, that part. Wanton flesh. Is there a way to see this from a better light? This is better, I think. Restrict the wanton flesh. Truly, there is no quicker means by which a life can be upheaved and sifted than by the depredation of uncontrolled desire. What avail is the concourse of a prostitute, the attention of a loose companion? Nothing. And what of the fruit of such unions? Only sorrow is born, only misery is multiplied. Within these things the outsider dwells. Alright? It's quite difficult to read this. This looks easier. Errant mind. Restrict an errant mind before it becomes fractious and divided. Can two enemies occupy the same body? No, for the first will direct it one way, and the second another, until they stumble into a ditch, and its neck is broken. Likewise, two contrary thoughts cannot long abide in a man's mind, or he will become weak-willed and subject to any heresy. Whew.